Hey everybody, it's Tammy from Wisconsin, and tonight I'm going to talk about the Denver event, day one. Now, it's been a while since I talked to you, probably just over a week, just before we left for the Denver event. And I know at that time I was sitting here in my muumuu, and I think it was like over 100 degrees in our office. And today I think it's about 68 degrees out, just a beautiful day in Wisconsin. It's just odd, 40-degree difference almost. But anywho, the first day in Denver started out. The first thing on our schedule was the women's event. Supposed to be a luncheon, and I had the honor of going with my daughter-in-law. And the it's the great thing about being part of Team Take Massive Action is from my knowledge, we're the only team that has a special women's group within it. It's called the Superwomen of TTMA. And our person that usually leads us, Layla Black, her husband, and her and Toby are two of our top earners in Empower Network. Due to unforeseen circumstances, she wasn't able to be there that day. So what's great about our women's group, though, is there's a lot of leaders that'll just step up and take care of and take massive action. So we started out the luncheon with a great Mexican meal, and then we heard some testimonies from some women, some people that had challenges getting there, challenges just being in an Empower Network. One woman that was on our table said the first time she went to conference, she was one of those people sitting in the back with her arms folded. And then she said as soon as she heard from Dave and Dave, her whole mindset changed. I mean, those guys are so real. You just can't get around it. And each time she came to a conference, she'd have a breakthrough. And for her to just stand up and speak in front of a group of women like that, in front of a group period, was a huge thing for her. And that's what the women's group for Team Take Massive Action is all about. It's about empowering the women in the community, helping them to become leaders. Sometimes I think I'm a little bit different than a lot of women, especially in my age bracket. I'm not so sure in the younger age bracket, but when I was growing up, I was a tomboy, and those were the only girls that were in sports were tomboys. And when you were kind of looked at kind of odd in as being a woman in athletics because it just wasn't the norm. You were, yeah, you're one of those jockettes, we were called. But I did read a lot. The fact that women that were in athletics had a huge advantage over the women that weren't. You learn a lot being a part of an athletic team. You learn leadership. You learn how to compete. You learn how to be a part of a team and help each other out. So I had that advantage before, beyond a lot of women. But since most women didn't have that experience of being in athletics, being a part of the Superwomen is a huge thing for them. So then we also heard from Chris Record and Lawrence Tam. They're our leaders on Team Take Massive Action, and they're also two of the top earners in Empower Network. Chris Record talked a lot about how money isn't really what it's about. And yeah, we're all here to make money. Don't get me wrong, but it's not the money. It's the feeling money gives you. It's when you take that money before you even do anything with it, it's just a stack of paper. You could have $100,000 sitting on your desk, and all it is a bunch of pieces of paper until you use that money. And using that money is what gives you the feelings. To be able to take your family out to dinner or on a trip or be home with your family. That's what it's all about. It's not the money; it's what the money can do for you, and the feelings that you get from that. So that was a very great insights from Chris Record. And then we heard from Lawrence Tam. And Lawrence, his big why was he wanted his wife to be able to have the opportunity to stay home with their kids once they had them and not send them to daycare. He's an engineer. He was making good money. His wife is an accountant and making more money than him. So his first big why was the ability to have his wife stay at home, replace her income. And now, of course, he's replaced his own income. And, that's just, being home with family to him is what it's all about. Being home with his children all day long and having that choice. So those are, two very inspiring things we heard that day at the luncheon. So it was a huge opportunity to be there, and it was one of the reasons why we flew out so early Friday morning so we could be there. So being a part of Team Take Massive Action gave us that opportunity, which you won't have on any other team. So it's a big reason why to join us to be a part of that team. And then the night ended up, our first session with Empower Network started at 7 o'clock that night. And the main speaker that ended the night for us was David Sharp. And what a class act. I mean, the guy, he went through what it means to be a leader. And the biggest thing he pointed out is we need to be ourselves. And that's what Empower Network is all about, is being yourself. It's the first thing we've ever been a part of where we are allowed to be ourselves. I was thinking today when I was writing the blog about the first time I've actually went to an event, and it was before Leanne and I got married. We were part of Amway. And we went to the event because we were always told how important events were. Well, pretty much the event was nonstop giving people awards, which, made me want to, I enjoy, people earn things and one thing, but to sit there for a weekend and watch people get awards, and then they threw a speech in every once in a while. But when we first got there, the first thing I noticed, and it was called the Horizon Center, and I don't know what it's called anymore in Chicago. It's their big sports complex. It's where the Bulls played. So it's a huge arena. And of course, we had nosebleed seats. We were way far away. And I asked Lynn, I said, so who are all those people up in front and why do they get to sit there? And, you could see that, the people with a higher level pin were up front and, and it went back from there. And, it just was like, they just thought they were so much better than us because, oh, I'm a diamond or I'm this and that. I know the leaders that were involved in our group in Milwaukee, I felt like sometimes they wanted us to kiss their ring or something like that. It was just, it was one reason that when we quit that, I swore I'd never be a part of an MLM again. That attitude of, I'm better than you because I have a pin level that's higher than you. And, the idea that, they got paid more because they had a bigger team, that's just not right. And, the other big thing at that thing is we were told how to dress, always in Amway. We always had to dress up. We always had to wear a suit. I always had to be in a dress, which I hate. I can't stand. I don't mind every once in a while, but every time they went to, on a weekly basis, they'd have events and we'd have to get dressed up. And it was just, to me, it was ridiculous. Who are we trying to fool here? But the attitude is it's your own business now, and to look like a business person, you had to be dressed like a business person. Fuck that. Sorry, excuse my language, but it was just a freaking joke. So I'm not going to bash Amway, because I think they have really great products and, it works for some people, obviously. It's just, it wasn't for me. And I have to tell people when, it's your own business, but I'm telling you how to dress. Seriously? So then we went to events and then we had to get dressed up the whole weekend. And then we're told we got to sit up there because they're better than us. Seriously? You know what? They were in for, 2 years. And I just made the decision to become a part of Amway. So how does that make you better than me? Just because you were in longer and built a bigger team? Yeah, great job. You built a big team. I think you deserve and earned that right. But to think you're better than me because of it, F you, is what I thought. So that was our first event. Now we get to Empower, and it's just the opposite. No freaking pin levels, no getting paid different on what your group does. That whole thing with, and that's what always scared me about stuff is, you base your income on your group, and then I can't tell you how many times I've seen groups quit, and then no money. So Empower Network, you're paid 100% commission day one. And, your income isn't based on what your group does. It's 100% period. No pin levels, none of this bull crap that you're better. Here's the thing. we had seats in row 4 in the middle. Period. Didn't matter who you were. We stood in line. We got those seats. You know, none of this, I'm better than you. And what I really liked is, you know, when Dave Sharp said, you know, you need to be yourself, thank you. Because we're all different and we're all perfect in God's eyes because we are different. We're all different snowflakes out there, just beautiful creatures of God's. And we should celebrate that. Don't make us all look the same. You know, so, and then the one other thing that was said, you know, I love how Tony Rush says, you know what? You know, the only reason he says he's earning more money is because he made a decision sooner than I did. So I'm just like you. You know, they started just like we did. They just made the decision. You know, they've been in Empower Network 18 months and we've been in 6 months. So that's why they're earning more money. It's not that they're better than us. They did, you know, there's some secret here that, you know, whatever, you know. So that was the best way to end the Denver event day 1. Be yourself. And if you're ready to be yourself and be part of a team that, you know, makes the women superwomen, you're in the right place. So I put the blog below. I have links to get more information. Our new sales video is out. It's fantastic. Dave Sharp does a super job, you know, teaching in a sales video. How many sales videos do that? And so I got the join link down there or the more information. Just go for it. Be a part of our team. Be a superwoman, or men. If you got a superwoman at your house, time for you guys to get together with us. Have a great night. And tomorrow, Denver event day 2. Have a great night.